slope-intercept form is shown by this little lovely here, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so if it tells you to put something in slope-intercept form, this is what it's talking about, y equals mx plus b. This is the one that I told you made the front cover of the algebra book. And if you say this to your parents, they might go, oh, yeah, I kind of remember that. They might not always use it. Depends on what kind of occupation they're in. But that's an equation in slope-intercept form. Okay? Now, you'll notice I have some little bit of color coding going on here. And we have that y, we have a y, and we have an x. And we've been used to the x's and the y's. Those have been coordinate points. The ones in slope-intercept form that we're going to pay attention to are, this says slope. Slope is the m, and intercept, that's the b. So if we're putting it in slope-intercept form, we need to have those two places in the equation have number values in them. Our x and our y are going to stay x and y. Because when we make this line, there's a lot of different x's. Here's an x that's 3 and a y that's 8. Here's an x that's, oh, not on there. Here's an x that's -2. And the y is probably, let's see, -2 as 0. Let's say -2.5, and the y is -1. There's a lot of different x's and y's that are going to fall on that line. So the x and the y are going to stay x and y. Okay? Slope-intercept form, we want a slope in there, and we want an intercept in there. Now, you might wonder, why are they using m for slope? I have no idea why they're using m for slope. Okay? You're going to just have to get used to that. B for y-intercept, well, they can't put another y in there. And I'm going to tell you, B, if you remember for B, is the beginning. That's the point you want to put in there for the beginning. And then you can figure out the slope from there. So B is beginning. So on this equation I'm giving you here, it says y equals 2x plus 3. The B is going to be the y-intercept, like I just said. So I'm going to take my little point here, and I'm going to try to find where does it cross the y-axis. This is the y-axis, right? So it crosses it right there at 3. Can you see it? It's kind of small for you. That's 3 right there. You can at least see the lines 1, 2, 3. That's where that number's coming from. Okay? Now, it says that m is the slope, or rise over run. So what I was just showing you on the board a minute ago, if I take my slope dot, I'm going to start at where my beginning, my y-intercept. What does it say the slope is? 2, right? 2. So I'm going to, that would be 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Does that land on the line? Yes, it does. So this equation here, y equals 2x plus 3, is the equation for this line in slope-intercept form. Okay, does that make some sense? I kind of gave you the whole picture first, and then we'll take it apart to each example. So slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. M is standing for the slope. B is standing for the y-intercept. Y-intercept means where it's going to cross, and intersection is where it crosses, where it's going to cross the y-axis there. Okay? Now, down here it's saying the slope is equal to the coefficient, or the number that's before x, and the B or the y-intercept is going to be a constant term. It doesn't have anything behind it. Those are important things to remember as well as we keep going through this. Okay, that was just a taste of it. So, slope-intercept form is a linear equation, means it's the equation for a line. We're going to leave x and y alone, because it could be all of those little x and y points on that line. Y equals mx plus b is said to be in slope-intercept form. The slope is m, and the y-intercept is b. Okay, so this is the same one I just used it's the beginning of the same one I used there. So, in each one of these equations, it says, identify the slope and the y-intercept of the line given the equation. So if we go to this equation first, All right? Is it in y equals mx plus b form? Is it in y equals? Yes. Okay. Now, mx, do I have a coefficient to x? Do I have a coefficient there? What is it? 1. It's implied. So I'm going to change this to 1x. So I have y equals 1x. Okay. And then do I have a constant term? Yes. And my constant term is -4. See where I'm getting all of that? All right. So if we're looking at this, I'm going to write our formula here. I know it's up here, but we're going to write it real big here. Okay. So the coefficient to x is our slope. So what's our slope going to be? What's our slope going to be in this sentence? What's my coefficient to x? Come on, guys. 1. And we want it in slope form, so we want it to be 1 over 1. Come on, rise over run. That's coming from the coefficient. M is the coefficient to x. All right. Now let me hear everybody say this one. What's my y-intercept? It doesn't have to be -4 over 4 would be 1. This one doesn't have to be a fraction. This is just -4. This is my constant term. That's where it's going to cross the y-intercept. Okay, or that's going to be where it crosses the y-axis, the y-intercept. So if I was going to look at that one, I'll do a real mini one here that's on the recording. We're not to this graphing point yet, but I'm going to go to my beginning, my b. -4 is where it's going to cross the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now I'm going to do my slope. My slope, it said 1, 1, 1 over 1. They're both positive, so I'm going to go up 1 over 1. From that point, I could go up 1 over 1. I could go up 1 over 1. Whoops, kind of got a little carried away on that one because I didn't pick up my stylus. This is the line y equals x minus 4. Okay? Let's look at the coefficient to x. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Does this line have a positive slope? Walking. All right, let's see if you can do this one. What do we need to do first with this equation? Is it in slope-intercept form? What slope-intercept form mean? Y equals. Does this say y equals? No. No, so we have to do that first. We did that in a previous chapter. All right, let's see what that does. I would have to get rid of the 3x. Let me get rid of my, there we go. I'd get rid of my 3x here because I want 5 to be all, I want y to be all by itself. So I've subtracted 3x from both sides, leaving me with, on the left side, 5y, leaving me with, and I would go ahead and I'd write the x first to stay in slope-intercept form. A -3x, a positive 10. Because those are not like terms, I can't combine those. Remember that? That's from chapter 5. Okay. Now I don't want to know how many 5y is. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 5. If I do that, I have to divide everything on this side by 5. Okay, I kind of cheated and just did one big one. So these would go ahead. Let me see if it'll let me. It might make my, oh, good. Those cancel each other out. 5 over 5 is 1, so I have y. -3 divided by 5, I can't do anything to that. So it's a -3/5x. 3/5 x. Okay? Positive 10 divided by 5, that gives me a positive 2. Now am I in slope-intercept form? Y equals coefficient x plus constant term. Am I in it? Yes. So this one was a little bit different. I need to get it that it's y is all by itself or isolated. All right. So Colton, you're feeling confident. What's the slope of my new y-intercept form line here? Slope-intercept form. What's the slope? What's the slope? We don't need that. And you're forgetting one little thing. It's really tiny there. Negative 3/5. Let's see if you're right. You are right. Looks kind of blurry there. All right. So that's going to tell me once I find my B, my y-intercept, how do I go up and over or down and over, right? What is my y-intercept, my B, my beginning? Where am I going to start? What is it, Megan? 2. 2. And where did you get that? The constant term there. From 2. Okay, so if I have to graph it, which you're not to that quite yet, you're going to be in a minute. B, beginning, start at 2 on the y-intercept. So go up 2. Then where are you going to find your next point? Negative 3/5. You can go down 3 and over to the right 5. That's for you guys. That's your right, not mine. Or you could go up 3 and to the left 5. And you're going to run into that same line. Questions about that? Because you didn't answer very good. Questions about any of those steps? How do I know if it's in y-intercept form? It's slope-intercept form. I keep saying it wrong. It's going to be y equals. There's going to be an x with a coefficient. It wasn't there on this one, so Bailey said, oh, it's a 1. Okay, and there's going to be a constant term. Y and x are still going to be in there, because it could be any of those points. Constant term, coefficient. Okay, look at this one. We had to get it. So y was isolated by itself. Okay, we got that here. 5y equals negative 3x plus 10. We need y to be a single y. So I divide both sides by 5. I get y equals coefficient x plus constant term. Coefficient is my slope. Constant term is my y-intercept. Slope-intercept form. All right, I'm going to do one more here. All right, so if we go ahead and we're going to try to graph this equation. Again, remember B is the beginning. All right, I don't like that I don't have that written there, so I'm going to write this. So put it in slope-intercept form. It's going to be y equals, whoopsie, give it back to me here. This one. Okay, this is a box here, so maybe it's not going to let me write in there, so I'll write it over here. Y equals mx plus b. I'm still behaving okay. B says the beginning. Okay, it says the slope, you have to start at the point and plot the next point. So we're going to start at the point, this point, we're going to start at the y-intercept point. The y-intercept point is B, beginning. Start, beginning. Hopefully I'll still get my enough places to write this in there. Can you read that that's beginning? Sure you can. Begin. Oh, we have some extra. I made that in the wrong one. Okay, beginning. So, constant term is my B, right? Constant term says 4. That means I'm going to go on the y-intercept, and I'm going to put it at 4. Questions on where I got that one? Why are you packing up? You can't give me 2 seconds to finish this? You can give me 2 seconds to finish this so you understand. All right, so we're at our B, our beginning, which is our y-intercept. Now it says go to your slope, which is a negative 2, 3. It could also be, what else could it be? It could be 2, negative 3. Okay, either one of these. These are the same things. I don't know how much it would let me write on that. All right, so let's do that with a red one. I'm going to start and do this one here, the way that I have it typed. Start here. Negative 2 means I'm rising down. Negative 2. Then my 3 is positive. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do, so that was this one. Let's do this one and show that it will also be on the line. Let's rise 2, and now this time I'm going to go negative 3, so I need to go to the left. 1, 2, 3.